princess impersonation, fairy costumes gone wrong, and a Santa Claus lookalike. These are 10 people who got banned from Disney World. Number 10, hairspray troubles. Nobody likes to pay for stuff because nobody likes it when their money finishes. That's why this first offender will probably just make you laugh hard. Blake Lively is one of the sweethearts of Hollywood, but it seems like she had her fair share of childhood adventures, including being banned from Disney. That's right, she was kicked out of the happiest place on earth. Before you panic, you might want to know that this incident happened way back when she was 6 years old. Before she became a superstar and mom, Blake and her brother were trying to scam free entry into the park by using hairspray to transfer hand stamps from strangers onto their own hands. It turns out that when you use hairspray on the stamp used to get entry into the park, you can cause the ink to get wet enough to transfer to someone else. Would you be shady enough to pull this off? Sadly, the security found out about this, and the siblings were given a 1-year ban from the park. That sounds about fair. Number 9, controversy in paradise. Disney World is one of the safest places ever. That's why it takes guest safety very seriously and tries to make sure everyone that comes in behaves themselves. That's also why their anti-gang and no loitering on park property policies are so strict. That's awesome of them. One evening, some football recruits were accused of refusing to leave the park after employees had asked them to. When confronted with park officials, the group showed them movie tickets for a film they had started earlier, so security told them to go either watch the movie or leave the park. When they refused, they received lifetime bans from the park. People came out to say it was because of all the teens in this matter were black. That's a strong accusation, isn't it? This is when people accuse Disney of being racist, because reports had shown that 45 out of 46 people receiving a lifetime ban were black or Hispanic. The ban was later lifted, but the damage was done already. Number 8, Sports Star Smackdown. Ever seen a hockey game? Hockey fights on ice aren't very shocking, but when one of the players gets kicked out of Disney World for fighting, you kinda have to take notice. Darren Kramer, who played for the Manitoba Moose, took several bowling pins from a Disney display and refused to return them. I wonder what he wanted them for. Darren was at the park with a friend who identified himself as Corbin, who told the security that he won the pins fair and square. He yelled to Corbin to run, and while he did so, Darren began fighting with the police officer, and that went bad very quickly. The officer was forced to use his taser on Darren. The player eventually got to court and was charged with grand theft, the battery of a law enforcement officer, and resisting arrest. All these for some pins? Not so wise, buddy. If you think these were priceless, now we're gonna take a look at an unruly officer, a fake policeman, and a criminal dad joke. Number 7, drunk and reckless. Disney is the perfect place to enjoy your childhood and eat a whole lot of junk food. For some adults, that isn't nearly enough. A graduate of the Naval Academy, Austin Van Hill visited Disney World with some of his fellow recent graduates to celebrate. Austin took a lot of alcohol and ended up being charged with aggravated battery and 2 counts of battery because he got in a huge fight. Nobody knows what caused it, but he punched 2 male park employees and attacked a female park employee with a piece of PVC pipe. Danger alert. Thankfully, his friends and colleagues were there to assist and tackled Austin to the ground before he could do any more damage. In a statement, officers that came to respond to the scene described the perpetrator as very intoxicated. Goodbye forever, Austin. Number 6, impersonating an officer. A lot of people dream of being police officers when they grow up, but pretending to be one at Disney World is apparently something that can get you arrested. At Disney World, Kristen Yarosh entered the park wearing a shirt that read, "Police Treat Crime Unit." The shirt was a gift from his father, who coincidentally was a police officer, and even said he had worn it to the park before without receiving any complaints. This time, employees at Disney World confronted him and told him to either change his shirt or leave the park. What would you do at that point? He tried to ask questions about the policy, and the answer made him an offer to go to a nearby store and get a new shirt so he could continue to have fun with his family. When he got to the shop, there were police officers there who asked him to not bother coming back. That's when his family got angry and said they would never come back even if they were wearing the correct outfits. I don't think they overreacted, do you? Number 5, bad jokes. There are so many different types of jokes, and it seems you have to be careful about the type you tell at Disney World. The most dangerous ones? Dad jokes. They can embarrass you, make you roll your eyes, and get you banned from Disney World for life. David Swindler and his family were staying at a great resort at Disney World and were having so much fun on their trip they decided to stay even longer. It was taking an employee a while to find him and his family an available room, and that's when he did something terrible. David joked that he could have built a meth lab in his room before he got service. He thought it was funny, but nobody was laughing. Tough crowd, right? This joke got his room searched, his family kicked out of the resort in Disney World, and of course a trespass order from Disney banning him for life. Do you think that's fair enough? I don't think so. Number 4, a grand mess. When you're a celebrity, there are a lot of people watching your every move and nobody forgets your mistakes. That's why we're not surprised that Ariana Grande's brother, Frankie James, got kicked out for a silly stunt he pulled. He's probably pretty embarrassed as to why he was asked to leave while enjoying himself at the Disney World piano bar. While he was there, the song Blurred Lines came on, and Frankie just couldn't resist it. He started to dance in a way that wasn't totally kid or family friendly. Looks like Disney has a very strict policy against stuff like that. Disney has more rules than school. Because they kicked him out of the park, the star took to Twitter and sent out a whole lot of angry tweets saying that he was being discriminated against and was in danger of being arrested due to his behavior. So not cool, dude. Disney ignored him because they had better things to worry about, and Frankie said he learned his moves from Miley Cyrus, who was a Disney star. The irony. Starting now, things get serious. It's now time to look at the banned Santa Claus, a sad princess, and a banished fairy. Number 3, no Santa Claus allowed. Raise your hands if you never got a gift from Santa. There's probably nobody who can say that. Santa is loved all over the world for bringing joy and gifts to kids, well, everywhere except at Disney World. Disney has a couple of policies that restrict what you wear and do it for good reason, but I think their Santa Claus policy is pretty ridiculous. Thomas Tilbert from Atlanta, Georgia, was on vacation with his family when other guests at the park realized something strange. Mr. Thomas looked exactly like Santa Claus, from his red cheeks to his white beard. Santa Claus's look-alike is real after all. In the park's defense, in real life, Mr. Thomas Tilbert is actually an actor who has recently acted as Santa when Christmas came around. But this time he didn't even act like Santa. All he did was look like him. The employees asked him to try to look a bit less Santa-ish, but that was impossible. That's when Mr. Tilbert and his family were asked to leave the grounds. Sounds way too harsh, doesn't it? Number 2, fairy trouble. Don't you just love fairies? Their tiny wings and amazing powers make them look so lovely. Well, except for Tinkerbell, who looks dreadful when she's angry. Maybe that's why she got kicked out of Disney World. Okay, so Tinkerbell from the magical world of Peter Pan didn't just get kicked out, but even her fairy dust couldn't help her look-alike, who was. 15-year-old April Steelman had saved up for months to visit the iconic park, but she was ejected from the park for one simple reason: her Tinkerbell costume. Crazy, right? All she wanted was to make her boyfriend have a great trip, but accidentally impersonating a Disney character at the park is very clearly a crime. Honestly, Disney doesn't allow adults to wear costumes of any character, and for good reason. Kids could get confused and not know the park employees. April might have been a teenager, but she was seen as too big, and they couldn't let her walk free. I guess giving her a t-shirt made up for it. Now on to the moment you've all been waiting for. Number 1, banished princess. Disney princesses are the most popular cartoon characters in the world. Who doesn't know Cinderella, Belle, and all the others? The sad part is that when you visit Disneyland, you aren't allowed to dress up as any of the Disney princesses while at the park. A lady named Natasha Narula learned the hard way that competing with a Disney princess is a no-no. On her birthday trip to the park, she decided to wear a wedding dress, Minnie Mouse ears, and a birthday badge to the park. I don't think any princess has that outfit, but she still got in trouble. While she walked around the park having fun with her child, an employee told her that her outfit was too confusing for the other children and she would have to leave. Yikes! Natasha was very humiliated because it was pretty clear that she wasn't exactly a Disney brand princess. Plus, another employee had told her over the phone that her outfit would be just fine. You might want to leave out any dresses just in case, especially that Elsa costume you had planned. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon.